Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family. Because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling.
What if the brightest moment of your life turned into the most unforgettable lesson about happiness? On March 15, 2025, at the China TV Drama Awards in Beijing, Liu Yunning and Zhao Lusi walked onto the stage to receive what was supposed to be their ultimate triumph, the most expensive artist trophies ever made in the history of Asian television. Worth millions, dazzling with Swarovski crystals and pure gold. But instead of smiling, they broke down in tears. What the world witnessed that night went beyond entertainment. It became a story about success, sacrifice, and the true cost of chasing perfection. The China TV Drama Awards has always been regarded as the crown jewel of Chinese entertainment, a dazzling showcase of artistry and celebrity. But in 2025, it reached a level of spectacle that even the most seasoned observers had never witnessed. The organizers spared no expense, pouring resources into a production that reportedly cost more than 50 million yuan, transforming Beijing's Grand Theater into a palace of lights, glass, and gold. Every detail was crafted to impress. The stage glimmered with cutting-edge design, international press gathered from Seoul to Los Angeles, and private jets carried Asia's brightest stars into the capital. Yet nothing drew more attention than the trophies themselves. For the first time in the awards' history, they were not simply symbols of achievement, but masterpieces of luxury, each designed by Italian artisan Marco Venitelli. Crafted with genuine Swarovski crystals, rare earth metals, and plated with 24-karat gold, each trophy carried an estimated value of nearly 400,000 US. They were less like awards and more like treasures, objects one might expect to see locked in a museum vault rather than handed to living performers. Amid this atmosphere of excess, all eyes turned to Liu Yunning and Zhao Lusi, the evening's most anticipated winners. At just 32 and 26, they had already rewritten the rules of television fame with their record-breaking drama Eternal Love Chronicles. The series drew more than 12 billion views across streaming platforms, a figure so immense that it reshaped advertising trends and altered programming strategies throughout the industry. Together they became the standard by which all other actors were measured, not only beloved for their performances but also envied for the financial rewards of their success, which insiders estimated at more than 180 million yuan in a single year. In the days leading up to the awards, commentators predicted a coronation rather than a competition, as though the trophies had been waiting for their hands all along. The stage was set for a celebration of triumph, glamour, and the intoxicating certainty of victory. Yet behind the shimmer of those million-dollar statues and the glow of worldwide admiration, another story was waiting to emerge, one that would transform a night of apparent perfection into one of the most emotionally unforgettable moments in modern entertainment history. When the moment of triumph finally arrived, the entire hall seemed to hold its breath. The orchestra swelled, the spotlights converged, and Liu Yunning walked to the podium to claim the trophy that symbolized the pinnacle of his 15-year career. In any other year, the scene would have unfolded with predictable grandeur. The applause of peers, the flash of cameras, the triumphant smile of a star made for victory. But what followed was something far more haunting, a spectacle that no one in the audience could have anticipated. As the crystal trophy was placed into his hands, its golden surface shimmering beneath the stage lights, his fingers trembled as though it weighed far more than its gilded frame suggested. He tried to speak, and for a moment his confident image appeared intact, but then his voice fractured into a whisper that carried across the vast theater. He admitted that he once believed success meant never having to worry about money, recognition, or love, but holding this trophy now, he realized he had lost each of those things in the process. The words hung in the air like a confession, stripping away every layer of glamour that had surrounded him. The camera cut to Zhao Lusi, standing beside him with her own matching trophy pressed against her chest. Her usual radiant smile was gone, replaced by the trembling vulnerability of a young woman overwhelmed by the weight of the moment. Tears rolled freely down her face, streaking the perfection of her stage makeup. And when she finally spoke, her voice carried both fragility and defiance. She said they had won everything that night: the admiration of millions, the validation of their industry, the trophies worth more than most homes. Yet in that victory they had lost everything that made the pursuit meaningful. The silence in the theater was so complete that even the softest sob could be heard, as if the entire hall was leaning in, listening not to the words but to the raw pain behind them. Then, in an act that defied the choreography of award shows, Liu Yunning sank onto the steps of the stage, clutching his glittering prize like a child holding something broken, and Zhao Lusi joined him. Together they sat on the floor, no longer icons untouchable by ordinary struggles, but two human beings exposed and undone by their own truth. In that instant, the trophies ceased to be symbols of triumph and became emblems of sacrifice, and the audience, both in the hall and watching across the world, understood they were witnessing not just an award ceremony but a revelation of the human cost of fame. In the hours and days that followed, the truth began to seep out, and what the audience had sensed in that unforgettable moment on stage was confirmed in ways more heartbreaking than anyone expected. Liu Yunning, the man celebrated for his strength, charisma, and the unshakable image of modern masculinity, had been carrying a burden invisible to the world. Behind the flawless performances and polished appearances, he had endured years of relentless pressure that hollowed out his spirit. For more than 2 years he had struggled with crippling anxiety and depression, the kind that made even ordinary days feel like an endless performance he could not escape. Friends later revealed that he often spoke of living like a ghost, trapped in a version of himself designed for public consumption but estranged from his own sense of identity. To the world, he was one of the highest paid and most admired stars in Asia, earning tens of millions each year. But in private he confessed to feeling nothing but emptiness, as though each accolade only deepened the void within. For Zhao Lusi, the struggle took a different but equally destructive form. Known to fans as the nation's sweetheart, her beauty and talent projected an image of innocence and perfection that became impossible to sustain. The constant scrutiny of cameras, the endless expectations of fans, and the harsh standards imposed by the industry had driven her into an exhausting battle with her own body. Through her representatives, she admitted she had developed a severe eating disorder, a condition born not from vanity but from the relentless demand to remain forever flawless. Though adored by millions, she felt imprisoned in what she called a golden cage, outwardly glamorous but inwardly suffocating. The trophy she held that night symbolized not just the apex of professional recognition, but the crushing weight of expectations that had nearly broken her. Together, their stories revealed that what appeared to be triumph was in fact a cry for help. Their breakdown was not weakness, but the courage to show the reality of lives lived under impossible conditions. By bearing their wounds in front of millions, they exposed the hidden costs of fame that rarely surface in public view. It was a revelation that stripped away illusions and forced the world to confront the humanity of those it so often places on pedestals, a reminder that beneath the glittering crowns of celebrity, there are hearts struggling to beat freely. This shocking moment triggered conversations across Asia and beyond. Social media exploded with hashtags like #LearningTruth and #AliceySecret, as fans in the US, Korea, Japan, and Europe shared their own stories of pressure and identity loss. But here's the remarkable twist. Instead of their careers collapsing, public opinion shifted in their favor. Surveys showed that nearly 80% of audiences respected them more for their honesty. Mental health organizations praised the stars for breaking taboos, saying they had opened doors for countless young people who felt trapped in silence. Even industry veterans like Fan Bingbing called it a performance of truth, reminding everyone that success without peace is failure. Imagine this. 2 trophies designed to symbolize wealth and achievement became symbols of healing and human connection. Beyond the headlines, something even more powerful happened. Fans began organizing charity campaigns for mental health in Liu Yunning and Zhao Lusi's names. Universities in Beijing, Seoul, and Tokyo launched discussions about celebrity culture and well-being. And for the first time, Chinese entertainment companies face public pressure to provide mental health support systems for their artists. In a way, what started as a glittering award show turned into a movement for change. So, what do we learn from this? That money and fame, no matter how dazzling, cannot replace inner peace. That vulnerability is not weakness but courage. And that sometimes the most expensive trophy in the world is not made of gold or diamonds, but of honesty, compassion, and the courage to speak your truth. For fans across America, Asia, and Europe, Liu Yunning and Zhao Lusi's breakdown was not the end of their story. It was the beginning of a new one. One that inspires us all to value mental health, authentic relationships, and the freedom to be ourselves. Call to action 6 o'clock. And that's why this night will never be forgotten. Liu Yunning and Zhao Lusi didn't just win the most expensive trophies. They won our respect, our empathy, and perhaps a brighter future for every artist who dares to be real. Sparkles, if this story moved you, don't forget to subscribe to Update X24H for more powerful stories from the world of entertainment. Folded hands, thank you for watching, and remember, behind every spotlight, there's a human heart that deserves kindness. Stay tuned, stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next video.